Hello again. Today is Sunday, June 9, 2024. I'll make a composition of how the various plants are growing in my yard. This is one of my naturalized mulberries and it is finished for the year. The fruit was pretty good though. Behind it I have a plot of different types of wildflowers and got echinacea starting to emerge. I've got some coreopsis here. The coneflowers are starting to blossom. Got another wildflower plot over here. This one's got more butterfly weed in it. That is a very drought tolerant plant. It will always flower even if the others are not. Down here is where I keep my vegetables and some of my avocado trees. Not growing as many tomatoes as last year. I got a little bit lazy and I started them in May. You really should start your tomatoes by March or April, but I've got some yellow Better Boy and another smaller type. I'm not growing the larger slicing type tomatoes. I've got this one small orange pepper that I overwintered. I need to get this weed out of here. Here's some oak leaf lettuce that escaped from my pots and it got into the ground and starting to flower. It's almost semi-ornamental, really. Millennial Gardener says that lettuce starts tasting bitter when it bolts like this. I don't really mind it that much. I just let the leaves soak in water for 20 minutes or so, and that seems to introduce some mildness to the taste. This is the first year I've tried growing melons, so I don't know how these results will go, but I've got 3 of them here and I'll observe those. Remember my Stewart tree and how badly frozen this was? And it appears to have bounced back. I've got 3 good branches forming, and all that remains is about 2 inches of green in the budwood, but it appears to be succeeding, and so I will take better care of this winter. So I'm not going to assume that's a cold hardy variety. I'll treat it like my Fuerte. And speaking of my Fuerte, here it is. This tree is beginning to overgrow the pot, I think. When I have another cool morning, I should come out here and give that one a larger pot, but it's still flushing and I'm getting some bark forming on the secondary branches. Looks like a healthy tree, although it did not flower this year. This large avocado is a seedling, actually. It's one of the ones that I did manage to get through the winter. So I would like it to form more bark. I think it'll be okay in this size pot for a while. Here's my poncho tree. Kind of grew in an odd habit here. Notice it's kind of narrow. It didn't form a round shape. Didn't flower, so it's going to need more time. Over here, this is the bacon, and I might also need to repot this. So it's getting large. And I've got one different tomato than the others. This was a volunteer that I found in one of my pots around November or December, and I just held on to it through the winter and put it out here. I'm not entirely sure which variety this is, but I suspect it's a Roma. It's more of a canning tomato, not a eating tomato, but we'll find out what it is. Now I'll go up the hill and take a look at how the berries are doing. These rabbit-eye blueberries are starting to approach maturity. There are a few here and there that I could just sample, but I probably need to wait at least another week before I can grab handfuls of these. I will say that this is a plant that's very easy to grow in North Carolina, so if anybody else is attempting avocados, I would just be willing to support the statement. It isn't a bad idea to plant a few things that are good for your zone, just to reward yourself, even if your avocado trees are giving you trouble. I also have some blackberries down in there, and the birds like to get after those more than the blueberries, I think. So I should pick those soon. Got a few other things over here. Got a couple of avocado seedlings that I just thought were curiosities that I'm continuing to care for. This is called goosefoot or lamb's quarter. You can eat it. It's a pioneer plant. It'll grow in just about any condition. So one of the easiest possible things for anybody to put in their garden. I've got some collards. Very appropriate selection for the south. And I've got some lettuce in these tubs. Some more oak leaf over there. And I've got some peas, which I started a little late. So I don't know if I'm going to get any peas. They may get exhausted by the midsummer, but I will learn one way or the other whether it's possible to start peas in early May. And a few more tomatoes I need to move. I've got some strawberries in different pots. I should assemble those in a better place probably, but they're doing okay. I got a few strawberry runners that I stuck in the soil here, and I'm going to get at least one. I might even get another one or two, but all you need is one, and then it'll sprout up and start sending its own runners out. This is my oldest strawberry tub, and it's pretty much filled up with strawberries. I'm getting some beginning fruit down in here. I think strawberries do a little better in tubs than putting them in the ground because it helps isolate them from problems. You tend to get more slugs attacking your fruit, and you can always move the tub if you want to change the conditions. This is my variegated kumquat tree, which is about 3 years old, and it's still fairly small. From what I've read, this is a slow growing variety, and it tends to be the one that makes fruit the latest in the year, so I will need to be very patient. Some people don't consider the fruit edible. It is sour, but the rinds are sweet enough. I'm willing to eat them. Got a few fig cuttings here, and these are too small to get any figs from them. Further down in the yard, I have some larger figs. Although I'm thinking I may need to put these in the ground, because you'll see there's a yellowing forming on the leaves here, and Millennial Gardener has a video to discuss this. He says this is a fungus. It's called leaf rust, and it happens if you have moist conditions. So when I saw the yellowing leaves last year, I thought I had a drought problem, but no, it's moisture that is conducive to this rust. And I have a southwest facing yard. I collect a lot of dew in the mornings, so if you put your tree in the ground, then it will be stronger and more resistant to the rust. So I'll probably put it over here at the end of the wildflowers. These are my mature kumquat trees. This miwa is flowering now, and it makes a nice fragrance. So I should start seeing fruits in here pretty quickly, maybe within a month or less. The funny thing about this miwa tree, this is a branch of rootstock, and I was just observing it, and I know I shouldn't let it grow too large, because it will drain support away from the rest of the tree, but I just wanted to see what it would do and what type it is. It does not appear to be trifoliate. I don't see the triple leaves. You can see the thorns down in here, so that's definitely not the budwood. But the odd thing is, notice this other branch, these leaves look more like the budwood on top, but it has thorns. So I'm a little perplexed, because it looks like the graft is here. I'm not sure why these branches are thorny, unless there's a double graft and I just can't see the second one up in there. And the Nagami is not flowering yet, but if I look very, very closely in there, I think I can see a few beginning nubs that may turn into flowers, so it just needs more time. But last year I got 2 fruit sets from each of these, so I'm looking forward to getting my fruit this year. Behind these kumquat trees is where I planted my avocados, and I believe they're doing just fine. I come out and water them twice a day. The growth pattern on that lila is a little funny because in the afternoons the light would be coming from behind me, and there's still fruit hanging in the tree, so I won't measure it yet. Let's give it a little more time. And finally, here is my ever-bearing mulberry. Even before starting this video, I couldn't resist reaching in there and picking some. So this is the first year that I've truly been able to get routine fruit from this tree. The idea when I planted it here was be that whenever I park my car, as I walk into my house, I can grab some fresh fruit. So I don't know how long the ever-bearing nature of this will continue into the summer, but if it lasts until autumn, that would be great. So next video, I will try and focus on the avocado fruit again, and I'll measure them and describe how they're doing.